Okay, so everyone has seen that film Alien Covenant, and it's a carryover from the film Prometheus, what actually happened to the character Shaw is a playoff of what actually happened to Maria Orsic. Maria Orsic was a channeler and an empath, and she was a very beautiful blonde woman with very long hair that was part of a group called the Vril Society. Now, the Vril Society essentially was brought in by the Thule Society. Now, that was actually Hitler's entire group. Now, Hitler's favorite book was Vril, the Coming Race, and he actually went all the way to Tibet to find this species. And that's actually why he turned into a sadistic maniac, and he pretty much swapped DNA and started some of the biggest fucking problems in history. That's why Hitler is renowned and hated throughout the world. Now, this species, the best way I can explain it is what happened to Shaw in Alien Covenant when you see the actual drawings of what happened to her, because her body was used as a biological, biomechanical birthing sac. So that actually happened to Maria Orsic, and the statues erected in Vigeland Park actually show all that. Now, the reason H.R. Giger was so interested in these things is because when his wife actually passed away, he got into channeling and figured out a lot more interesting things about this species. What you actually see erected in Vigeland Park is the reptilian statues that people actually talk about. Some look like velociraptors with human armor on. Some of them actually look like the Reaper statues that actually go behind women. And that's actually where most of our folklore having to do with vampires comes from, because most of them can actually shapeshift, and their DNA sequence has actually been mixing back and forth with humans in order for them to actually be able to blend in with society. Now, that's been caught on camera multiple times. People actually call them reptilians, and the reason they're in such high stature is because Hitler took them straight to the top, and pretty much they can jump back and forth from body to body, and they use up the body essentially like just a tool. Donald Marshall has spoken on this subject multiple times. Everything I'm actually saying is factual. Most people are actually stressed out about it, considering the level of abilities they have, and they do actually have psychic abilities. They can actually read your mind. Some people that are human that actually have ESP, extrasensory perception abilities, they're actually targeted by the government because they're able to see what's hiding inside of a person. And they're extremely psychic. They can everybody sees the movies when someone is actually meditating and they astral project somewhere else. They can do the same thing. The United States government's been helping them. That's why we have so many missing people in our woods. We have so many missing people, men, women, and children. The bases, the actual bases, military bases, everyone is actually hush-hush about it, and there's non-disclosure agreements about all these things. When I was actually in the Air Force, when I was in high school, these things were being fought. Now, if you look at Kandahar, they were actually fighting a being that was actually considered a giant. But these things are essentially parasites, so they can hop back and forth from body to body. And it all started with Hitler. And I've been trying to backtrack all the places they've been, but they're pretty much everywhere. Like, they've been caught on camera in the White House. They've been caught on camera in Canada. They've been caught on camera dismembering a Russian soldier in Russia. This is actually why most of the Middle Eastern men, as well as tribes, had AK-47s, IEDs, things of that nature. These weapons weren't meant for American soldiers. They were all meant for this species, which comes out of the ground. And some of the world's deepest caves have actually been excavated, but there are still people going missing. So you're talking 700,000 to 1.1 million people go missing a year in the United States forests. And that's just in the United States in 1 year. It's starting to make no sense, because these people, just like Missing 411, David Paulides, these people vanish without a trace. And some of the cases actually are astounding, because there have been cases of people being found up in trees. There have been cases of children going missing and holding on to the tree branches, and they're being sucked up in the air, and they're having their insides pretty much pulled through their rectum because of this vacuum that most of the military ships have. Most of these people aren't being found because some of these beings, believe it or not, they can do what you and I call dimensional portal jumps. And it's not that hard to explain. It's just something, at first I thought it was something they could do naturally, but it turns out some of them have technology to do that. And that's all validated by a lot of the abductees in these situations. But I was trying to backtrack through time on everything that's ever happened, and there are films about these beings all over the place. There are a lot of undertones in almost every movie having to do with them. Hunters are actually going missing in the woods because of these things. They're actually trying to take out some of the biggest threats